Good morning and welcome to another one of Drew's Book Reviews. So today we are doing part 4 of Maps in a Mirror. This is titled Cruel Miracles, Tales of Death, Hope, and Holiness. So our first short story in this section of the book is simply titled Mortal Gods. Now this is a really interesting idea or concept. So of course, it takes into consideration the idea that throughout human history, we've always essentially worshipped immortal beings as our gods. But what if there were immortal beings who can never die? And these beings came to Earth and discovered humanity who can die. It's the one thing that humans can do that they cannot. And essentially, these alien beings begin to worship humanity simply because they can die. And this is how we get into the concept of mortal gods. Now, this is kind of an interesting switch or trade of positions in which humans have become gods to this alien race who's apparently significantly more advanced than us to be able to live forever and to travel through space, but they worship us because humans can die. So that's a really interesting take on the idea of worship and how it gets twisted around, and kind of really makes out death to be not such a horrible thing in the end. And then we have Saving Grace. So this is a story about faith healers and this one boy who is totally converted to religious fervor through faith healing and seeing the faith healers perform their wondrous miracles. And of course, his mother's always like, hey, that's not real. It's fraud. It's bogus. It's not actually working. But this boy decides he wants to go off to be healed by a faith healer regardless. When he discovers that it's simply not real, it's not true, it doesn't happen, he isn't really healed until he discovers that one day he actually has the power to heal those who are sick, those who are hurt and lame. And he himself starts to develop quite a huge following, which he never wanted. And he never took money for his faith healing like the faith healers did. And it just kind of develops from there to kind of show that, this is not something that should be done for money. That if you have the power to heal, you should help those who really need it. So definitely a story of hope, as this action describes. Definitely one of the stories of hope, and overall, a good story. I did enjoy it. I thought it was well written and just generally enjoyable, and really kind of explains the position of what faith healers should be. Now, Eye for an Eye was an interesting one. This one, the idea is that what if you could actually cause the death of other people simply by wishing or thinking it, whether that's by causing cancer or some other way. And this is a story about the boy who can do that, and he's lost everyone important to him in his life, and for the longest time he didn't realize he was doing it. But he eventually discovered the truth about who and what he is. And so the story kind of plays off this idea of, in the Bible, when you have God speaking to Abraham, and he says, I will bless them that bless you, and I will curse them that curse you. And I will curse those whom you curse, and bless those whom you curse. Or bless those whom you bless. So it kind of plays off that this family is actually a descendant of that, who inherited this gift or power from God to be able to curse others and bless others simply by their thoughts or words. And that is the crux of the story. And how you got to be careful what you think, careful what you wish for. I guess the whole point behind his story, but overall it's actually kind of one of my favorites. I do like stories that kind of play off of religious ideas and turn them into reality in the present day. I do enjoy that type of story because I think it's a intrigue into human psyche, how they think, that sort of thing. Now, St. Amy's Tale. This is certainly another interesting take on an idea. I mean, what if we were not the first advanced civilization to ever exist on Earth? And how would we know it if they had the ability to essentially destroy all indication of their existence, destroy any chance of us ever knowing they existed? So with St. Amy's Tale, the kind of idea is that they have this technology that will disintegrate or separate all man-made objects back into their inherent natural elements and seep back into the earth, so we would have had no way of knowing of their existence at all. And they're in a civilization that is slowly destroying the earth, just as we are, I guess, with the whole climate and global warming, as we hear about all the time in the media. So by destroying all advanced technology, we can essentially save everything. So what we have here is a tale about people that do just that. So definitely an interesting take on the what if question of past civilizations. And then we have King's Meat, a story of cannibalism, in which the king literally uses his subjects for food and eats them. And so there's people who basically are walking around lame and dismembered, and the only people that are whole are newborns until they become king's meat. That, just the very idea, is a bit of a disturbing tale. But I also found that the story itself, in some ways, either played out too quickly or wasn't fully connected. I mean, overall, I think it done well. Maybe I just wasn't paying close enough attention while I was reading. I don't know. But King's Meat was definitely one of the most disturbing and weird tales of this book. You can count on that, absolutely. And then Holy itself was also a bit of a weird story, but it basically is a story about this group of people who have to make their way up to the peak of a mountain called Sky in order to honor the dead and remains of one of their companions. But they do this by basically spreading his intestines all over the top of this mountain, or what's inside, so his poo, basically, over this altar on the top of this mountain. And they have to climb this mountain while fighting off their enemies. So definitely an interesting take on how literally anything can be made into something that is considered holy. And also kind of a gross story too. But anyway, that is my review on Cruel Miracles, Tales of Death, Hope, and Holiness. Hope you enjoyed, and of course always don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for the final part of this series on Maps in a Mirror with the Lost Songs. Will be the next section, so stay tuned. Don't forget to tune in, comment, subscribe, and thanks so much for watching. You have yourself a great day.